Hi guys, I'm Amanda Closell and I have my own podcast. It's called the Pitch Perfect Podcast, and basically I bring on student athletes to share their experiences about their college life and all the stuff like that, and as well as their sports. Also brings on the academic aspect as well and how that ties in with their student athlete life. I'm also a writer for the main campus. I write for the sports column. Go follow them, go look at the articles. We now have weekly papers, so that's very exciting. Go check them out. And yeah, I play for the UMaine women's soccer team here. Our new field is right behind me, which is so exciting. Zoom in on that. Yep. But yeah, go check it out. I have an Instagram. It's called Pitch Perfect Podcast. Also YouTube and TikTok. It's under the same name. And yeah, I'm super excited to start collabing with the main campus, and this should be really exciting. This is the brand new women's soccer field. It's called the New Balance Soccer Complex, and then the track is just going to be right over there. But this is our new home. So exciting. It opens up tomorrow. Our first training will be on here at 7 a.m. And we have a huge ceremony after that, ribbon cutting. Maybe the ribbon will be here or something, I don't know. But yeah, let's step on it. The turf feels very bouncy, but that's good. It's new. It will get run down soon. But compared to the baseball pitch, it's beautiful. Niels, how do you feel about this turf texture right now? I like it. It's much better than the baseball. Yeah. See this huge black bear in the center that actually goes outside of the circle. So let's take a look. I don't even really know where the circle begins.
Oh my gosh, the mane is so big.
Wow.
It's so big. Really, honestly, this is like a dream come true. Like, I just remember being told that. Like, I just can't believe
you'll get it right in time. And then this is where all the fans are gonna go. Hopefully it will be sold out on Thursday. Thursday, 6 p.m. Be there. We're playing against Bryant, our second conference game, which is great. Yeah, I like how it's covered too, which is nice. Rain or shine. We didn't have a cover on our other one, so we'd be standing in the rain, like shivering. But this is really great. Does this field look really big to you though? Like, I'm scared for all the running I'm gonna be doing. Everyone, and welcome to the Pitch Perfect Podcast, where you get to hear the real lifestyle of what it's like being a student athlete and living a soccer lifestyle. I'm your host, Amanda Closell, and I'm with none other than the UMaine women's soccer head coach, Scott Atherley. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Amanda. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Can't wait to get into your history as a player and here as a coach as well. So, Coach, you grew up in Connecticut, and then you settled on coming to Maine. How did you make that decision to come here to spend your time playing soccer?
Well, the gentleman who recruited me had strong roots to Connecticut. And when he took the program over at UMaine, it was really not in infancy, but it was in a transitional period. He was really set on trying to get into the top teams in New England and so forth. So our roster, coincidentally, had something like 17 players from Connecticut.
Really?
So it was kind of an area where he really, focused his recruiting efforts on. So yeah, that's really the long and short of it. That he was really recruiting heavily in Connecticut.
He found his one honey hole there.
That's it. Yeah. He had come from a university. He was at the University of Connecticut in Eastern Connecticut. So that's really kind of where the roots had started.
Yeah. And then what was your 4 years like here as a player?
Well, actually, it was a great timing for the 4 years because every year the team had a goal of being ranked in the top 10 teams in New England, and we were. We reached as high as 3. My sophomore or junior year, we were playing nationally competitive teams, and the program really took off really quick. So we became competitive really fast, and for me, it was an opportunity to be impactful right away. It was an opportunity to get on the field right away, and it was really something that I was looking forward to kind of match my academic pursuits.
So it was a winning program when you were here, the men's team?
Yeah, so before I got here, they hadn't had a winning season, and then we had 4 consecutive winning seasons. I said we finished 3rd in New England my
amazing.
sophomore year, so we really were able to get competitive.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
And I hear you were a fullback. Is that correct?
Well, no, I spent part of my time I was a left back, but I played predominantly on the outside up front.
Okay, so if you could compare yourself to a professional player now, how would you describe your style of play?
My style of play, a professional player, maybe an Andy Robertson type of deal. I got to pick a guy from Liverpool, so just somebody that was really industrious, getting up and down, and just somebody who tried to get the ball in the box and use my speed.
Get those crosses.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. And then once you graduated, you went straight into coaching. Is that correct?
I did. Yeah.
Did you always know you wanted to be a coach?
Well, when I graduated, I got my master's here at Maine, and that was part of a grad assistantship through the kinesiology program. So I was entertaining the idea of corporate fitness, and I actually had got offered a job in corporate fitness when I graduated with my master's, but I turned it down for a $2,000 paying job to be a part-time assistant here for the men's team, and I really knew that I was really my calling was to coach, and I took a chance, and it paid off.
So you kind of knew from the beginning you wanted to be a coach, like stay in the soccer world.
I did. I really just felt that that's where I belong.
That's great. And so you've coached a total of 33 years for the men and women, and then 27 for the women. Yeah. So that's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Through all the ups and downs, what kept you going as a coach?
Just the relationships with players and young people. I mean, I got into coaching more because I consider myself an educator. Yeah. And I just really like working with this population of young, motivated kids that are impressionable. And I just think that's like teaching. Every team presents a new opportunity, and to work with that population is really refreshing for me.
Yeah, and you've had a lot of memories on this field, and what has been the most memorable win for you here on Mahaney Diamond?
I don't know that certainly there's two memorable wins. I think both championships for different reasons. I think the first championship was really special. One, because of the nature of the game going into overtime and all of that stuff, but it was really the first experience that our team and the first championship that we had, and the crowd was great. We were talking about that, and just the atmosphere was really electric. And then certainly last year, to be able to do it 2 times in a row it's hard enough to do it once, to do it twice, especially when everybody was really we were predicted and picked to finish first, and that's not easy. That can be a burden, and I thought our team the whole year handled that exceptionally well. So I'd say those two.
Yeah, and that 2023 final, that was a 3-2 game, right?
It was.
So how were you feeling in that moment? Because that would have been very nerve-wracking for me, at least.
Yeah, I think it was just the way the game went. We got up early. It was 2-0, and then 2-0 lead is always the most uncomfortable lead. And ironically, they got a goal. Lowell had scored a goal right before halftime, so it was 2-1, and a little bit of the momentum changed, and they got 2-2. And I think our team at the time then just settled and said, "Listen, relax, and let's just be ourselves and play." And the set piece off of the corner was great. The rest is history. Yeah,
wow, that was a historic win too.
It was.
That was your first playoff win, is that right?
Well, not our first playoff win. It was our first championship. So we had been into the playoffs multiple times. In fact, shortly after, when I took the women's program over, I think our goal was to get into we wanted to be a top 20 program within 5 years. And my 4th year, I think we were actually ranked 22 in the country.
Wow.
So we had gone from 340 to 22,
which
was a really cool unbelievable thing. And we made 4 consecutive appearances in the America East Championship game during those 4 seasons. And 2 were sudden death losses. 1 was in sudden death losses and penalty kicks. So I remember the first team that we went to the championship with, we lost 7-6 in sudden death penalties.
7-6?
So, yeah,
wow.
so we went into extra penalties. And so we were really close for 4 years, and we lost another game, sudden death, overtime on a set piece. So we've been close. But you know, it goes around, comes around. You know, here we were against Lowell 20 years later.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Those are the things that happen.
Yeah, and then what has been your most hurtful loss on this field?
Hurtful loss? I don't know that I ever walked away, you know, like with something that was just like, you know, so devastating. I think I always look at losses as revealing something, whether you thought you should have won. There's a reason. You always look for the reasons of why you didn't win or why you didn't play well. So I don't know that I've ever walked away, certainly not here, with a real devastating loss. I can't think of it.
Yeah, kind of like a no regrets.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever really walked off the field with really regrets.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then as a coach, who do you take inspiration from? You talk a lot about Pep. I like Pep as well.
Yeah, well, I you know, from a professional standpoint, I was a real Jurgen Klopp fan, still am.
Yes.
Not just because of his ideas about how to play, but just how he manages people. And I think he really galvanized the culture at Liverpool. And, you know, I think when you're in a community like this, or any community, it's not just about your team or how you're playing, it's about how you bring everybody together.
Yeah.
And I think he did a really good job of that. And, you know, I've been just really fortunate over time to have really good mentors, and I think I've taken a little bit of something from everybody.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I feel like Klopp, he has a very good like team atmosphere and environment, which I feel like we have on our team as well.
Yeah, really front-footed, really nothing to lose, and
for sure.
Being very grateful for every experience you have.
Yeah, and recently Liverpool, they've been getting on my nerves because they've been winning at the end of each game. They go the last second and score the last goal.
Liverpool karma. That shouldn't
I'm a
surprise
City fan.
That
so
shouldn't be valid. I apologize for that. So there's hope for everybody.
There is. And then I have to ask, who is the most professional player you've coached in your career?
Most professional meaning, how do you define it? Has gone on to play professionally, or
like very coachable player, very well spoken, kind of like a captain role?
Gosh, that's a tough question because there have been so many.
I know there has been
over
a lot.
the years. I think if you go over recent history, I mean, obviously Mila Schneider and Abby were 2 incredible players, but they were also really amazing leaders, great students. They really epitomized, I think, you know, our culture of who we are. But I could go back to Kelsey Wilson, who's now a doctor, who was a captain, and Jen Buckley, who's also a physician, you know, who was one of our first captains. They all just brought something to our team that were really, you know, just amazing. Really set the tone for our culture over the years. So that's a real tough question. Just naturally working back from last year, those 2 really come to mind.
And how do you feel the team's culture has been throughout the years?
Well, I think I'm a firm believer that likes attract. So your best recruiters are your players. They will attract a certain type of personality, a certain type of character, and I think we've always had high character people, and I think that's what sustained our culture and our program for so long. And so I think that's, you know, there's just some values you never compromise, and I think your players that you have attract those people to the program. So I think it's really been a constant thing over time. I think if you look in our locker room right now and you look at the way, like kind of like the spirit of our team and the character of our team, that's what our locker room looked like 15 years ago, what it looked like 20 years ago, 25. They'd say the same thing. These kids are great, they're hardworking, they really are dedicated, and it's just, you know, it's just a different time.
It like carries over into each team each year.
It really does, for sure.
Yeah. And so, I mean, right now is a very, very exciting time for you. Tomorrow is the grand opening of our brand new field right behind us.
Yes.
So how are you feeling? This is probably maybe your last time on Mahaney Diamond. How are you feeling like in this moment?
So I think it's, you know, knowing that today was the last, you know, certainly we've had so many good memories here. And I never want to discard that. You know, we got on Mahaney a little over 10 years ago because the grass surface that's where we were just was decrepit, and we couldn't play there anymore, and this was supposed to be a temporary solution, and you know, we really made the best of it, and certainly we were able to win 2 championships, and that's really cool. And I just think, what's really amazing is to go back into that same area where it all started, and what people don't have a perspective for of how beautiful it is over there when those trees change color. I remember always playing out there and saying that what a setting for a soccer game or an athletic competition, and now having walked it today and been out there a few minutes ago, it's just our players are going to get on that field and just not recognize where they are.
Yeah, because so you played on that field.
I did. Yeah, it was oriented the same way, same location, same everything. And I remember sitting down with my former coach who helped me coach the women's team and coach. We always used to say, when we hit the lottery, we're going to build a field and this is what the stadium is going to look like, and we'd sketch it out, and he had where the benches were going to go, and I remember that just being a dream, and that was 30 years ago, and to now have it really come to fruition is just it's
kind
crazy.
of like full circle.
Oh yeah, it's like when I stepped out on the field, I couldn't believe it, because it's oriented. It's like being back in time, but at the same time, it's unrecognizable.
Yeah, because it's brand new, and it looks amazing.
It is. I was talking to Logan Desmond on our way in. It's like we literally go from arguably the most challenging facility to having the nicest facility in the America East. It's clearly going to be the nicest facility in the America East.
And it's been a long time coming too. How long has this been in the works for now?
Well, it's been talked about forever.
Yeah.
I think there's always been the recognition of the need, and nobody is, can argue the need. It's just a matter of when the resources and the timing, and thanks to the generosity of the Alphon Foundation and New Balance, it just became something that became reality really fast over the last few years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to you personally, this new field?
Well, it's not so much what it means. It's kind of catches me emotionally, but it's what it means to players.
For sure.
Because it's not easy when you're trying to recruit, and for so many times we hide where we play, and now we have something that's really you can have a lot of pride with, and you go walk onto that field and that you can look somebody in the eye and say, we have the resources to really afford you an experience that can be second to none. I just feel it for our players more. It's not really about me. It's just like, wow, it's finally here, and it's like they can enjoy something that all of the people that came before them didn't have.
Yeah.
Because they suffered. And that's what's really cool, is that people coming forward are going to have that experience.
Yeah, and I feel like that goes back to with the team culture. It brings a whole new thing, and I mean, it means I'm so excited too. I'm so excited for our team to go out there and get our first win on that field. And
and to really, I hope our kids, our current team, can really just appreciate it, enjoy it. And as I said, I think I'm thinking more about the people who came before. Just didn't matter.
Yeah.
That they can step out on that you can win 2 championships here.
For sure.
Is a really cool thing.
For sure. And besides obviously recruiting and everything like that, what do you think it means to the future of the program?
Well, sustainability. I think when you talk about running having a championship culture, part of that is having the resources and being able to, afford, the next generation with things that they look forward to coming. I mean, in this day and age, in this generation, it's about, what you have, and it's about your facilities. It's about the bells and whistles. And I think, for me, you're able to, I was just thinking about that today. This is the last place we would bring a recruit. We'd go to the rec center. The first place we're going to show up to is our new facility and say, this is where it can all happen. And I think that it's going to just transcend beyond anything that we've ever had, and it's going to be able to really attract an even higher caliber of player than we already have.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree, and it's a phenomenal pitch, and it's going to transform the whole program, I believe, too.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, my podcast is called Pitch Perfect.
Perfect. It's a perfect pitch.
Exactly. I think that will be the best pitch I'll play on.
Yeah.
But what has been the best pitch you have played on as your time as a player?
Wow.
This is always my last question to everyone.
Well, I don't know. I can't remember in time. Were you on you were with us in Chicago?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, that was the year before you got here.
Yeah.
We played on the pitch. Meals was there.
Yeah, Meals was there.
That was a really incredible stadium.
Okay. What university was it?
It was the university. No, it was like. Let me see who that was. We were playing not Chicago State, but we were playing. Do you remember who that was?
UIC.
University of Illinois Chicago.
Okay.
And the backdrop had the city in the background.
Oh, beautiful.
But it was a pristine grass field. And I remember saying, I don't know that I've been on a nicer grass facility, which I thought was really cool. UConn was really special for me just recently because I had grown up on that, and it's kind of similar. It was a grass field, and I remember being in that stadium when there were 10,000 people 40 years ago in that environment. But to see the whole complex, that was actually a really cool experience for me. I thought that was great. So
and you said that was the largest number of people to attend a college game, right?
Before they started keeping track of attendance, formal attendance records. And UConn had traditionally had 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 for midweek games, back in the 80s, and that was just an incredible environment to grow up in.
So UIC and UConn.
I think those two really jump out at me, just for different reasons. One for pristine surface and really a cool environment, and then UConn just for the nostalgia and really also being a great place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with me, Coach. Is there any last things you would like to say?
Yeah, just hope that everybody can come out next Thursday at 6 o'clock. Another conference opponent, and I just know that our team is going to be really excited about being on the field, and really appreciative that anybody that can come out and see us play and cheer us on. It should be a great night.
Oh, I'm so excited. It will be good.
I bet you are.
I'm
Pitch
so excited.
Perfect.
There you go. And thank you so much for watching. This was Scott Atherley on Pitch Perfect, and have a great day.
Perfect.
Great.
How was that? Is that a wrap?
Great. Yes.